Welcome, everyone. I'm Aldreama Harper, business organizing strategist to solopreneurs, freelancers, and service providers. Welcome to another episode of the POP series, POP standing for Podcasting on Purpose. And so, in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about editing and post production, as well as hosting platforms that you can use for your podcast. Okay, let's get right into it. So, editing and post production, the process of it is used to trim and clean and enhance your recorded audio. You want to also do that so that you can remove mistakes and long pauses or irrelevant sections to maintain a more polished episode. You can also add intros and outros, music, sound effects, all of these type of things in order to enhance the production value of your podcast. Now, as far as editing software, there is Audacity, which is absolutely free and it's available for Mac or PC. So you can use that particular software to do a whole lot of things. As a matter of fact, you can use that one piece of software to do all of the things that I just talked about, to trim and clean, enhance your recorded audio, to remove the mistakes, to uh, the long pauses that you may have in your audio recording, the sections, the irrelevant sections, all of that, you can use that software to eliminate all of those things to make it a more polished episode. You can also use it to add your intros and your outros and your music and your sound effects all on one platform. So it is definitely worth the value, which is free. Okay. Also, Anchor.fm. If you're using that platform, there's also some editing um, options there as well. You can actually add intros and outros and music and sound effects, and it doesn't cost anything extra. If you're doing video podcasting, you can use YouTube, where you can find royalty free music to enhance your podcast as well. Okay. And also, recently, what YouTube has done, they have, if you have a YouTube channel, then there is a podcasting channel that's exclusively for podcasting. So hopefully that is helpful for you. Now, let's talk a little bit about the podcast hosting platforms. So, what you want to do is research and select a reliable podcast hosting platform that suits your needs and your budget. And so you want to ensure that the platform offers the necessary features such as episode scheduling, analytics, and distribution to major podcast directories. That is so very important. Now, when it comes to choosing a platform, there are a plethora of platforms out there where you can host. I've mentioned Anchor.fm, which is actually owned by Spotify. You can host your podcast, whether it's video or audio, for free. And when it comes to distribution to the major podcast directories, there is an option there where you can actually have it hosted on that platform and it will distribute to the major podcast directories like Google Podcast. And there's a number of other platforms that I'm sure you're aware of, particularly if you listen to a lot of podcasts. So you definitely want to choose something that will allow that. Now, Anchor.fm, again, as I said, is owned by Spotify. I use that one because it also has a lot of other editing capabilities right on the platform. You can actually download the app, and if you're wanting to do a quick podcast on the go, you can download the app on your phone and record a quick podcast there, as well as add, the music and all of that add sound effects, all of those type of things right there on your phone. So it's extremely accessible and very reliable. So you, because you do want something that is reliable. Also, I use two platforms for hosting, and that's anchor.fm for a lot of the reasons that I just mentioned, the scheduling, analytics, distribution, and reliability. Also, I used Bcast. Bcast allows you to pretty much do the same thing. The thing it does not allow is a lot of editing. It doesn't have the editing capabilities. However, it does allow you the distribution to major podcast directories. And those are the things that you really want. You want those options when you look at podcast hosting platforms. Now, there's a lot of them that's out there that's even better. However, that those have been my choices and they've been extremely reliable for me. And so hopefully this is helpful to you in terms of editing and post production